Hey, I'm Annette here at What's News for You. And tonight we have a pretty exciting guest, Yolanda Robinson. She's an author and she's a boss. And so while we wait for her to join us, let's talk a little bit about our community and unity in our community. I think it's important. Here at What's News for You, we want to welcome you on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. We're pop up. And we'd like to feature artists. We'd like to feature authors. We'd like to feature um, people who paint. We'd like to feature people who dance. We'd like to feature people who have those extraordinary skills that, I don't have, or maybe you. But just people who are doing things in the community. I think it's important. And before Yolanda hops on, I just want to share a little bit about why I chose Yolanda, why I asked if she would allow me to interview her because she's written a book. And the reason that I made that request is because Yolanda is so pure in terms of what she does in the community, it matters. And she's just chimed in. And while we get ready, I want to be sure that everybody is aware that we need water. You look gorgeous, Queen.
Oh, thank you, Queen. I don't feel like it right now. I got so much going on, but we're gonna make this do what it do.
That's right. That's right.
So
And remember, you're going to be live on 3 different pages as well as YouTube.
because I gotta fix my I gotta let me just give me a second. Let me just make sure because I'm at my dad's house, so I'm readjusting myself. I apologize, but
That's okay. That's okay. Take your time. I'll wait. I'm going to mute you and I'll bring you back on when you're ready. And so I chose Yolanda because she's written a phenomenal book that I think can and will benefit all of us. And so I wanted her here tonight to share that with you. And for those of you who will watch live, thank you for your time, energy, and effort in joining us. And for those of you who will, reach the podcast later and look at it, we'd like to thank you as well. Because again, we're broadcasting live tonight on Recovery Coach, What's News with You, YouTube, and at What Trenton Really Makes. And so the goal is to market, to help market Yolanda and what she's doing with regards to her book. And so I think the book is going to be a bestseller. I'm actually sure that it is. You're perfect right there. I'm going to bring her back on so that you can hear her. Can you hear me?
yes.
You look perfect. And so I was just sharing why I chose you and ask you to allow me to interview you. I hope you have some water. We're
Um,
only going to be about 15 minutes,
okay.
15 to 20 minutes. But I just want people to know that there are phenomenal folks in the city doing phenomenal things, and you're one of them.
Oh, thank you, dear.
And yeah, and so we're going to talk a little bit about your book. But before we do, let's shout out those who are listening tonight. We had about 5 people on there jumping off and on, but people will come on later and you'll find that we'll get tons of views. People will look at the video. So I want you to just, in your best voice, tell us why you wrote this book. First of all, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Yolanda L. Robinson. I'm born and raised in the city of Trenton. I always tell everybody Trenton is my hometown. I love doing what I do in the community, helping other people. And one of the things that I'm prompt to write the book is some of the things I had been through in my life, the passing of my mother, being an only child, going through different things. So the title of my book series is Don't Be Bitter, Be Better, How to Get Lemonade Out of Lemons. So I've written 5 books, you
Okay.
know, in that series, and just to help people understand who they are, because a lot of times we go through things and we struggle with stuff without people being able to help us, or we struggle alone. So that's what prompted me to write my first book, Don't Be Bitter, Be Better, How to Get Lemonade Out of Lemons. So it's about different things and conversations that I had with my mom, or would have had with my mom, because I'm an only child. So it was just things that that I wanted to talk with her about. So that's what prompted me to write the first book. And
Okay.
I, sorry, I'm
So
sorry about that. Someone was trying to call.
that's okay. Tell us, just take a few minutes
Can
and
you
tell
hear
us a
me?
little bit. I can. Take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about your mother. Yolanda?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Because
Take
I
a
don't know
few
where the
minutes and tell
volume
us a
went. I
little
can't.
bit about your
I
mother.
can't hear.
You can't hear me? All right, just take a few minutes and adjust it. It's okay.
Because I
I
can't
think
hear.
it's,
Now I can't hear.
are you muted?
Because I can see you, but I can't. My mic. I don't know what happened to the volume.
Go out and come back in.
I don't know.
Go out and come back in.
Go out.
And come back in.
Go out.
There you go. So Yolanda is having some technical difficulties. I see that, my home is not the only place where technical difficulties exist. And so we are working on that.
I can hear you
But
now, Queen.
I think that her story is so important. And before we move into your story, tell us a little bit about your mother.
My mother. My mother was a Southern Belle. Um,
Okay.
she's from Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, and they moved up here to Trenton when she was probably about 13 and 14 years old. She was young.
Mhm.
She met my father. She got married when she was 16. Um, but my mom was the type of person that would give you the shirt off of her back. She always went over and beyond for people. She was very loving. And she was a diva. You know what I mean? She was very fly, sharp. When people would see us walking, they would always say, "Is that Patty Bell? Is that Dinah Ross?" Because they was always trying to figure out who she was, because she always made sure when she came outside, she looked her best. And I try to tell people,
Right.
a lady makes sure when she comes outside, she puts her best foot forward, because she doesn't know who's watching, or who's looking, but you just don't know, never know who you might be able to help or save that day. You know what I mean? So she was always
Yes.
always a lady, and I miss her so. Right now,
And so,
right now I'm here with my dad. He just came home from the hospital, so I'm here with him. So trying to, but I still didn't want to, not do the interview. So, so I got, different things going on. But I think that it's also important that when you do have a family, that, regardless of what you have, you still try to maintain that balance
that's
with
right.
both. So that's what I'm trying to do, maintain the balance. Not to say to him, well, I can't do it because I got to go do this. Then I don't want to say to you, no, I can't do it because I got to go do that. No, the Lord said just have balance. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's
That's what I'm
right.
trying to have. So I'm in the kitchen. I'm in this kitchen sideways, trying to get the camera right. But the thing is the sincerity of it. That's
That's
what's
right.
most important. That's what you want people to understand. The sincerity of whatever God puts in your hand, he is going to have you juggle things. There's going to be more than one thing on your plate. But do you go and sit down?
Yes.
No. And you don't get mad. You keep working at it. That's why I say the title of my series is Don't Be Bitter, Be Better, because there's so many things that come at you on a daily basis that you do want
Right.
to, say, throw the towel in. But you can't,
Right.
because people are that's what life is about. The ups and the downs, and being able to talk to amazing people like yourself.
Wow,
So
thank
I
you.
just think that it's a great, thank you for even having a platform, and even understanding that I was, had a situation with my dad. He was like, no, 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 it's okay. It's okay. You didn't say, well, girl, call me next week, child, because we don't know what next week might be even more hectic. No, we
Not
doing
only
it now.
that, we have to keep moving. We have to keep moving. And you said it. And so, in be better, not bitter. One of the things that I share about often is that life is going to continue to move
Mm-hmm.
on its own terms. We have to decide how we're going to deal with it. It's not what happens to us. 95% of how life meets us is how we deal with what comes our way.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, give me that book. Talk about it.
Well, in the book, it talks about, I tell you a story. It's titled "Crying is Just Not for Babies," and because, and I was when the book came out, a lot of times with that particular story, I would get emails from men or phone calls and be like, "Why'd you write that about me?" And I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, somebody emailed me and say, "Why'd you write that about me?" I'm like, sir, I don't even know you. So no, it was not written about you. So, but a lot of men, when they read that particular story, "Crying is Just Not for Babies," they think that I'm talking about men, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. The book is not targeted towards anyone. I always say to them, when a man says that to me, I always start laughing. I says, "Oh, why it hit you? Why you could relate?" Because men cry too. You know,
Absolutely.
they do. And
Absolutely.
we think that it's a sign of weakness when men cry. It's
No.
not. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of, hey, I go through stuff too. I've been through something, so I may have a moment as well. So let me have my moment. So that's what I got out of it from when I got feedback from men, and I was very shocked because I was like, oh wow, I didn't write it because of that, but I feel good about it that a man can read the book and see themselves in the story.
There you go.
You
And
know,
crying is not about weakness, it's about cleansing.
yes,
Like the rain, our tears cleanse us. I admire a man who can be his full, authentic self in his
yes,
feelings. Trying to be rough and tough all the time doesn't impress me. What impresses me, and I'm a whole woman, is
mm-hmm,
the ability to be vulnerable and be okay with it.
yes,
So being better and not bitter, and sharing about tears are not just for babies is real.
it's
It's
real.
real. Okay, Queen, keep going. Keep going.
And I also wrote a book titled, excuse me, it's called Insta God. I wrote that book because I was robbed twice in one day. Right, I was robbed twice in one day, and I could have instantly been killed because the second time, the person got in the car in the back seat, and I was in the front seat trying to cancel, credit cards and everything from the first incident. So I'm in the front seat, because all I had left was my cell phone, and somebody jumped in the back seat. Like, I was like maybe 10 minutes from the first incident, drove somewhere else. So now I'm in the car. My family has to go into the store to get me some items because everything was taken because I had just, arrived there. And, but the gentleman had jumped in the back seat, so I'm like so distraught, but you don't have a moment to think about it because it's between life and death. Right.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm saying to myself, okay, God, mind you, this is in split seconds. And I'm like, okay, God, I already don't have anything. I just got robbed. I don't know what to do. So
Wow.
in the spirit, this is what the spirit said to me. Well, you better go Trenton on him. And I'm like, back like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, go Trenton on him, because I'm not even in Trenton. Go Trenton on him. Okay, all right. He said, you want to live or do you want to die? You better go
Wow.
Trenton on him. right? And what I did was I was like, all right. I turned over to my left because he was in the back. It was I was in the passenger seat and he was in the back of the driver's seat. And I turned around because mind you, it's broad daylight. If anybody jump in the car broad daylight, they ain't got nothing to lose. They don't have nothing to lose, right?
Nothing.
Brown, and when I tell you, I went Trenton on him. And one of the words that we say in Trenton, I don't know if I can say it on this station, but it's the B word. We will
No.
call you. I can't say it, but it's the B word, and that's what I did.
Okay.
And I used that word a couple of different phrases, a couple of different ways, and he
Okay.
got out that car backwards because he didn't know who he was dealing with, and I
Right.
didn't know who I was dealing with. But I guess he probably figured, you know what, you got.
I'm, I'm not going to do this today.
I'm just, because the way I carried on, sir, I don't even got nothing. Okay. So, but the thing is, that's what made me write that book because instantly I could have been gone, and because things like that again can make you bitter because it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
stuff like that could make or break you, but you
Yeah.
can continue to move forward. My one of my other books I wrote is I'm a Lady, and
Okay.
that is about women, us loving on ourselves, showing each other how to love on ourselves. There's drills in the book, there's activities. So it's just not, my books are not just readable books, they're activity books. So there's drills. So it may say to you, okay, this drill may say, get up today and go out and support a local business.
Okay.
Or it may say, get up and smile at people all day. Something to get you motivated. Then there's scriptures in every story. I can't do anything without God. He leads me through. You know what I mean? So I try to
Amen.
make sure that the books are engaging,
Yes.
that you're not just read, put it down. You can go and do something. Just do something with yourself. And then I also wrote a book for teens. It's called #Teens. It's for teenagers. And
Okay.
the reason why I wrote that is because a lot of our teens, they don't have, I guess they don't have that resource to ask questions for themselves, right? So as a parent can get information about a teen, but a teen can't get information. So say for instance, you may say to a teen, driving is a privilege. And people don't say that to them. They think like, oh, when you get old, you'll get your license. Da, da, da. No, babe, it's a privilege to drive. You know what I'm saying? It's not just getting behind the wheel. It's saying, it talks about the parent is your first friend, not your friends, because a lot of times kids think that their friends are their friends, and they'll tell their friends things that the friends can't help them with, that a parent has to help them with. So this book directs the teen back to the parent because you
Very
hear a
good.
lot of parents. When my child turned 13 or 14, I couldn't get through to them. So this book actually allows the child to know that you can't get nowhere without your parent. Don't even try it because you can't do it, because your friends cannot help you. They're in the same boat you're in. The only person can help you is an adult. So that's what this book does. It sends the child back to the parent. It talks about different things about hygiene, how to even act on the first day of school. You know what I mean? And things that our children, deal with. So what I did with the teen book is I traveled all over the world. I met with different teens and I
Hmm.
said, how old are you? Okay, let's sit down and we're going to write this chapter together. So it wasn't my thoughts, it was my thoughts along with the teens, and
Right.
then when I have other teens read it, they may say, they said some teens said the same thing. Oh, I needed this book when I was I'm younger. Why you didn't write this then? Or how you know about me or whatever, because, and it's not even that, is that there's nothing new under the sun.
Nothing. Nothing. It's
Nothing. It's just how you
reinvented.
pack.
It gets better. I want to talk just a little bit about, because this plug is here already. Parents have to do a better job of parenting as well.
Mm-hmm.
The schools are not responsible for parenting. Parents are. It is a partnership that helps build success for the kids. It's a
Mm-hmm.
joint effort. And so parents have to do a little bit more. Our kids need us. They need us. Until I die, I will mentor. until I die. Until I'm incapable, I will mentor because it's such a much needed
Yeah, because the parent is
thing.
the school is only there to enhance what the child has learned. A child does not should not go to the school to learn how to write or spell their name. They
Right,
supposed to know that before that child gets to school, they need to know their address,
right,
how to read and write their name, their parents' name, their phone number, all of those things, ABCs. You only go to school to enhance that. If a teacher has to stop to teach Ronnie, Ricky, and Mike
right,
the alphabets, what about
right.
who already know? Then I gotta wait. Now there's a behavior issue because now I gotta wait
Yeah,
because I'm fidgety now. You know what I mean? So, like you said, that is something that needs to be talked about at the round table all the time. It's not anything that you can just sweep under the rug because being a parent is something that you do constantly. You
yes,
know, and teaching a child at an early age is something that's so very important. But a lot of people don't understand that. They think that the teacher is there to do that. No, no, they're not.
that's right.
But it's okay. But we're gonna keep pushing at it, though. We're gonna
We're
keep.
gonna keep pushing
Mhm.
at it, and we're gonna keep encouraging folks to mentor children. I want to shout out Ron Davis again this week because I spoke with him last week. I interviewed him last week, and
Mhm.
we spoke about Little League and how important it is. Little League builds lifelong friendships. It teaches sportsmanship, and it engages the community.
It really
Yeah,
do. So, and that's definitely what we need to do. Continue to have activities for our children. And show them different sports, and just make these things available. If we got the space, use it, utilize it. Because
yep.
it's especially like you open the door, so I'm gonna walk through it,
Come
right?
on,
If we have children that are talented, that's only going to improve where we are. So
right.
why should we get pushback in having programming that's going to better our children that's living in our community? I don't understand that. Like you would want them to be vibrant. We would want there be reading centers if we need them. If a parent can't help their child, let's make these things ready and available so these children can do what they need and come
That's
back to
right.
the community and make them more better.
That's right. And so, in being better and not bitter, one of the first things is self care.
Hmm.
So, self care applies. And for me, some of the things I do for self care is, I purchase scrubs and I scrub, I do the exfoliating of the
Hmm.
hands, the face, the feet. I try to get regular massages. I try, but a big part of self care that doesn't cost anything is I'm real careful about the people I let into my circle
Hmm.
because that's self care too. And then being better, tell us about some of the things that people can do to be better and
Well,
not.
but some of the things that people can do, you know, um, in my opinion, to be better and not bitter is like you say, self-reflection.
Mhm.
A lot of self-reflection will help because it'll put things in the compartments that they need to go,
That's
right?
right.
So you're able to, help yourself. The best practices that's going to be for you. Because you want to be able to be healthy. You know,
Right.
so a man think if he is. So if you think that you're downtrodden, you're downtrodden. If you think that you're up, you're up. So you have to think about it. I think meditation is very important.
Okay.
Having a moment to yourself and relax so you can reflect.
Yes.
One of the most important things that I do for myself is I try to be in the moment. So
Yes.
whatever I'm doing, I try to be present, right?
Yes.
Because I know this little mind of mine can roll. It could be everywhere. So one of the things I try to do is train myself to be in the present, in the now. And sometimes that can be very difficult because life is very noisy. You
Life is noisy. I like that, Yolanda.
okay?
That's a great book title. Life is noisy. It is, and it gets in our way sometimes. And it gets in our way, and you talked about it earlier that, some of your experiences help contribute to this book. And you shared about your mom and, who and what she was and, some of the things that she taught you. And that stuff is so important. It's so important. And in being better, we have to work to understand and move towards the opportunity to improve ourselves.
Yes, yes.
That's incredible. Where can we find you selling your books?
Well, you can purchase my books anywhere books are sold online, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon.com, or you can check out my website, which is www.don'tbebitter.com. You
I
know,
like that too.
yes, and you can get my
Yeah.
those ways, but definitely just go to Amazon. I think they're on sale right now. Which is a good thing. Get it on sale or get it from me. It's a little bit more. It's 15 from me. I think Amazon has it right now for maybe 13.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Will you be hosting a book fair anytime soon? Like maybe at Starbucks?
Um, what I usually do is I do a lot of things with the Classic Bookstore downtown. I
Okay.
just got approved um, from the
Shout
Trenton
out to Eric.
Free
Let's
Public
give
Library.
Eric a shout out
Yeah,
because
shout
he
out to Eric,
certainly
Reese, and all
engages the
of them. Yeah.
community.
Yes. So I just got a um inquiry from the Trenton Free Public Library because a couple of years ago I should do an event called Books and Beyond, and every
Hmm.
month I would go to the library and do a different theme. I would do Christmas in July, different things like that, and get people to come out and do arts and crafts in the library in a fun way, would it be for
Yeah,
adults, so I'm looking forward to doing that again, and just being out, circulating, communicating with people. Right now, next month is the third annual Trenton Women's Gathering, so I have books out there for that.
that's going to be exciting. I want you to come back and talk about the women's gathering. I
Okay.
want to have some conversation about that because I attended one year and you gave me the
Thank
privilege
you.
of answering a question, and
Yes,
every woman got an engagement ring,
yes, they
right?
did.
And I thought that was phenomenal. It was different. And there were so many different women there doing different things. And I remember I'm not easily impressed, but that impressed me.
Oh,
That
thank you,
impressed
thank.
me. And, I was happy that I had the opportunity to be a part of it. And so just to be there and to, move around and, meet some of the women and do some of the things. I have a group on Facebook, Women Who Mean Business. And that group is designed especially for women who are getting it done and who
Mhm.
mean business. We're going to have a bougie business brunch.
Oh,
We're going to have a weekend getaway. We're going to have two speakers come on and share about, some of our experiences. It is personal for us. It's a little bit different for women, and we understand each other because we have some of the very same experiences. And so,
yes.
those of you in YouTube land, you know that women understand women.
Hmm.
I don't try to speak for men. I'm not a man. I've had 7 brothers. I still have most of them. I don't try to speak for men. I speak for women. I
Yes.
speak, sometimes I share with men through my podcast, but it's important, like with your book, that men also be able to relate as they have, because they thought you were speaking directly to them when you talked about crying is not just for babies.
Yes. Yes.
And it's important. It's really important. And I think women have to support women. I think we should support each other as a whole because solidarity is important. In order for us to be better and not bitter, we have to reach more for each other.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
you're doing that. And that's one of
Thank
the
you.
reasons why it was so important for me to have you here tonight. Hey, my name is Annette. I'm your host here at What's News for You. Listen, this mic is open. It's called open mic. What's news with you? You have the mic. Anytime you want it, just inbox me and let me know what you want to talk about. We'll get you on here. We'll get you promoted to YouTube and 3 different pages on Facebook, because marketing is some of the things we can do sometimes for free, and we need to take advantage of that. I like the title of your book. I
Mm.
like the fact that you've spoken to teens. I like the fact that you have a series of books, and I want you to run them down for me one more time. You have,
The books I have: hashtag Teens, Don't Be Bitter, Be Better, How to Get Lemonade Out of Lemons, Instant God, and I'm a lady, and I have one more, um, Happiness, the Inside Job.
yep. And tell us your mother's name again. Your
I'm sorry.
mother's name?
My mother's name is Hattie.
Shout
Hattie.
out to Hattie for raising this queen, for bringing this
Yes.
queen along, for exposing her, for letting her know what a lady looks like and acts like. And we don't ever want to forget that. I want to thank you guys for joining us here this evening. Yolanda, again, I will send you the stats on the number of people who view this after it when the live finishes, because typically people don't come in live, but they do come in and look at these
That's
podcasts.
once they come.
They're coming, and I will send you the stats, real stats that show you. We get up to 1 K, 1,100. We get 200,000. We get views. That's what you want. That's what marketing is. We want to
Yeah.
get your name out there. We want people to know who you are. Hey, those Robinsons are doing the darn thing.
Yes. You know it.
I know. Hey, Elise, I love you, baby. I love you, and I love what you're doing. Yolanda, I want to thank you for joining us here this evening. For
Thank
those of
you.
you who are going to watch us again, we are at What's News for You. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us where podcasts are. You can find us on 3 pages on Facebook. What's News with You? At What Trenton Really Makes. And what was the third one? We got a number of pages. But we're here. Look us up. We're here. Look at Yolanda. Look at Yolanda. Isn't she lovely? I sing too, although I can't,
Okay.
but I will. And I'm not afraid to, because I believe in my ability to do anything I want to do, whether you like it or not. I sing. Yolanda, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Be better, not bitter is a wonderful topic. Kudos to you on looking out for your dad.
Thank you.
Kudos to you for rising in your mother's legacy.
Thank you.
Maddie, we thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all. I want to ask you to join us again. Thank you. What's News with You, family? We appreciate you, and we'll be back again soon. We have some things to tell you. Yolanda has a whole lot more, and she's coming back again. Thank you, and good night. Thank you.